Hey guys, New Year's about to come and thought it'd be good to actually plan it out a little bit. What are you going to do during the new year? Uh, I spent some time making a little reflection guide. Studying yourself is always a good activity because we rarely do it. And yeah, I just thought I'd share it with you guys and maybe some of you will use it. And because it's kind of like a goal setting thing, one of my goals is to start making videos of teaching, get more into that, see where that path takes me. Be exciting. So you get to help me with this. This is one of my very first instructional videos. So I'm just going to walk you through the guide that I have, and yeah, we'll go from there. Let me know what you're up to this year. It'll be fun. Alright, hey guys. I'm going to be going through the goal setting and action guide for 2016. And I suggest you do this by yourself, schedule, and this took me about 2 hours. So make sure you're scheduling enough time. Really, it's about understanding yourself, taking a look at what you like, and yeah, we'll just jump into it. Just as a quick go through, you'll see that we take a look at values, learning from our big mistakes, different areas of your life, and goals that you can have in them, what small steps you can take to start reaching them, and then you kind of plan them out on a calendar. And that's the quick rundown. We'll jump back to the beginning. And I really like this first quote. It's hard to achieve your hopes if you don't know what they are. So where did that quote come from? I made it up. If it's somewhere else, let me know and I'll give credit to him. But really, if we don't think about what we want to do, it's rare that we'll get there. And I know some people like to just live very free and easy and just go with the flow. That's not me. So if you're one of those people, this probably isn't for you. But if you like to change the world, as Bill Nye says, this may help you do it. So first, getting into what our goals should be, because it's kind of scary and you're like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And to actually understand that, you need to know what you value. And there's this little thought experiment that I've done a couple times now, and I kind of guide it through here. And the very first thing is think about your own funeral. What's being said at your own funeral? What do you want people to be saying about you? Now, really, in the end of it, you're dead, so who cares? But think about the stories you want for your own life. What stories do you want people to be telling about you? And what I did is I spent, I don't know, probably about 5 minutes just imagining what people were saying. As you see here, what stories are people telling you? You see that right there. Who is sitting in the front row? Who's important to you? And first, just spend about 5 minutes or so, basically however long you need to, just imagining that in your head. Maybe you want to write it down, like what's happening if that helps you. And then after that little time, come back to this and answer these questions. Oh, before I get even there, just so you know, I printed mine out because I like to get away from computer, get away from technology when I'm doing this kind of stuff. And I actually hand wrote everything. But if you want to just type it in, do whatever. So again, pause it for 5 minutes and then come back. So now that we're back, what are the messages of the stories that were told at your funeral? Those were the big accomplishments of your life. What were they? For me, I had things as being a coach, being an educator, being very compassionate, helping people. That's what I wanted people to be talking about me, what I wanted them to say about me. Again, this is up to you. Who is present at your funeral? These are going to be the most important people in your life. And I had things like my dad, which I don't want to say bad things, but really I hope he's not at my funeral. But I'm just saying in case he was. But for things like that, it was focusing on what role do people play in your life. And one of the big roles that I think of as my dad is him being a mentor. So having someone as a mentor is very important to me. So that's something you can learn about in here. And then the other question, are you nurturing and respecting them? I know for me personally, I had a couple friends that I'm not spending a lot of time with or communicating with, and so I'm not nurturing that. So that gives me an idea of something that I should be doing this year as well. And moving on to the very last part, what values can you pull from the stories? I had things such as compassion, learning, education, teamwork, play, having a purpose. As you might be able to tell if I created something about goal setting, I like having a purpose to my life. But again, you're going to pull these from the list and your ideas from up above. There's a lot of different things you can value, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. So spend some time coming with that list, and then we shall move on. You will be using those values, as you'll see on the next page. And I like, again, another quote I came up with, our hopes radiate from us, but like the electromagnetic spectrum, most go unseen. It's time to look for them. We often live our lives on autopilot, and we forget that our autopilot was based on something. And what are we actually basing our autopilot on? That's the purpose of this activity. And what I did was create boxes where you can write all your values and examples of you living up to them. So I'll just give a couple examples from my own. One of my values was education, and I stated that I'm a teacher. Hey, look at that. And another one was compassion, and I remembered things of talking to Abby about problems that she's going through, helping and consoling a student when they were crying in the hallway. So again, you're just looking for examples of that value, of you living through that value. And if you're like me, this made you feel really good afterwards. Like, look at me. It feels good to look at examples of that. All right, moving on to the next page. Learning from your mistakes. So you'll see that you basically describe a big mistake and try to learn from it. How can you avoid it? One of the mistakes that I've made was not building my aquaponics system. I was talking a big game before last summer about how I was going to build this aquaponics system, and then it didn't get done. It's still not all the way done. I'm every now and then working on it, but one of the problems that I had was that I kept getting distracted by video games. So I would take the easy route instead of actually focusing on the aquaponics system. So I talked about ways to help avoid that, whereas it's setting time limits on FIFA, or actually telling people and getting help from other people, making it more of a priority. I'm not going to go into all the specifics, but there's other mistakes. Think about the ones that you made, learn from them, purpose of that. And now we start thinking about the next year as we enter the next page. So what do you want to get done this year? And this is something else that I've been working on, where I think we have like 7 different parts of our lives where we spend time planning our lives, we spend time organizing / cleaning, we focus on our health, we focus on our community around us, we spend time learning, we have our work, and then we spend time on enjoyment. And it's interesting because I realized that I wanted to spend time in all of these different categories, but I was spending the majority of my time in only like 3 of them. And since I started working on spending time in all of them, I'm much more comfortable. I don't know, it's soothing to me. So that's where this came from. Maybe you just want to skip down to just your goals and not focus on goals for each of these categories. That's up to you. This was a personal preference. But just to share some of my goals, I wanted to, for planning, I had plan every week and every month. For organization, I wanted to keep my house in order. Goals for health, I wanted to actually start stretching after every workout, because I always skip stretching and I'm starting to feel tight. I don't know if it's old age or just lack of care. Goals for community, I wanted to message a friend every day. That's a big step for me, as I'm kind of more of a hermit. And moving on to goals for learning, I wanted to ask a question and research a question every day. And goals for work / career, again, that was the creating video-based lessons. And look at this, getting that one a jump start. And goals for enjoyment is trying to spend 1 hour a day of downtime. And we'll see how that goes. I get very antsy and always want to be doing something, which isn't a bad thing, as long as I'm doing something I enjoy. Hopefully my whole life will be that. So those are just mine. And again, if you don't want to focus on specific goals to each category, you can just move on to other goals for your life. But I kind of read through mine. For this page, this is where you actually go into why do you want it. Because if you don't have a compelling why, you're not going to do it. I want to lose weight just because. It's not going to motivate you. So really spend time on the why. Why do you want to do something? So, for example, an in-depth why. I wanted the house in order every Sunday. And why? Because I find the environment soothing, a clean environment. It's less distracting, it helps me feel more accomplished, and it also helps Abby stay happier. So happier people in your life makes your life happier as well. So there's tons of benefits going on. And again, I could go into other things for other goals, but if you have questions, just message me. We'll talk about it. Possible steps. Since I talked about house in order every Sunday, we'll just go with that example. So one of the possible steps was clean each room and take its picture, so I know exactly what it's supposed to look like each Sunday. And then I wanted to create a cleaning schedule and put it into Asana. And lastly, follow that cleaning schedule, which is always the hardest part. We'll see how I do. We'll keep myself updated and living through it. And then I have 2 pages of those goals. I don't like having tons and tons of little goals, because your big goal, these are your year goals. So the little possible steps are like your mini goals. Can you do that? And that's why I only included 8 slots, because I don't think we should have like 20 different goals, because then we're going to feel like we don't achieve them. We're like setting ourselves up for a mentality of failure. That's never good. So moving on to this calendar view. This is when you spread out your goals throughout the 12 months. And for mine, let me take a quick look. I kind of pile everything in at the beginning, which I don't know if it's good or not, But a lot of my goals were like daily things, like talking to people every day, planning each week. So that was included in all my months. Because I'm basically trying to, this year's, I guess, a year of foundational habits. And so that was kind of taken up. But talking about the cleaning the house example again, I have take pictures of bathroom on the second Sunday of February. Take pictures of the bedroom on the second Sunday of March. So that at least gives you an idea that, yeah, this is my year-long goal, and I'm spreading it out so I don't get overwhelmed. And hopefully by the end, everything is completed. And I kind of accepted that my ideas might change, so I left the end months kind of bare. So again, your life's going to change, but this gives you a little guide here of what you want to get done. And that's basically about it. This very last page is just an encouragement to you to try to keep this at the forefront of your life, keep it in the focus. So you can obviously read this, but I just want to highlight that I think that we should be checking in on this 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month and a half from now. Keep it in your head. And something else, share your goals, talk about them, let people know so they can hold you accountable. This is a good talk crap to your friends with like, hey, I did this. Are you holding on to yours? That's all good stuff. And something that I added that I didn't include on this was I added steps to immediately take. And stuff that I did was I started placing things on my calendar. So all those pictures are now on my Google Calendar. And I could even show you that. So if I go to my next couple months, you see my weekly planning session. There's pictures, small screen, so I can't tell which one that is, but you see that I've already taken steps to helping me achieve this. So that would be the one last addition that I would add is, what are your next steps? And what can you do right now to help you get them done? Maybe it's share them, maybe it's put them on the calendar like I did. Do something. Something else that I had was prepare journals to keep track of all the messages that I had to friends and the questions that I've asked. So that would be the one thing I would include. And that about wraps up our goal setting session. Thanks for coming along on this journey. I have no idea how this is going to sound. I did order a new mic, but it's not here yet. So I wish you a very happy new year, and hopefully this will help you. If not, continue ignoring. Perfectly fine. Peace.